Hey, it's Monica Henderson here, and this is MinkLife Motivation Live. I'm so excited to get this party started because we are hanging out with some of my besties, the people I get to hang out with, my tribe. So excited. So today's show, we are going to be talking about marketing strategy, and to help us have that conversation, we have Andrea Gewertz, who is a wellness thrive strategist at Wellbeing and Worth, a MinkLife Motivation Master Trainer, and the Dean of MinkLife University. Andrea, welcome. Also to the show today, we have our co-host Peggy McCarthy, who is the owner and photographer at Headshots by Peggy. She is the headshot strategist and a Mink Life Motivation Master trainer of the brand builder, Peggy McCarthy.
Woohoo!
And we also have our special guest co-host, Cassie Clayton, who is the creator at Stargazers Unite, and she builds brands that radiate your soul into the world. Fun fact, she is actually, I would like you to share a fun fact today, as I didn't get one when we were chatting earlier. So, Cassie, what is your fun fact?
Okay. Fun fact. Just in general, or
yeah, just a general fun fact.
Well, I did spend 5 years living and working on cruise ships.
There you go. That's a fun fact.
And then the networking event that we go to in the mornings, just so happens that I met another guy that also worked on cruise lines for the same cruise line.
That is hilarious.
All right, so you see our four faces here, and we're going to dive into that a little bit more. But we can't forget you, as you are our co-host on the couch. So please chime in with your thoughts, your comments, your emojis, all of the things, as you bring so much energy to the show as we do our thing here. So shall we talk about this whole fun fact of Cassie's? So 5 years on a cruise ship. What made you decide to go to be in cruises in the first place?
Well, it's actually kind of, so I had been in college doing graphic design, video, websites, all that. And then I got out and I was kind of looking for a job. And it was kind of the last, it was actually kind of funny because the last cruise I ever went on with my family, I said, I will never get on a ship again because I got so seasick. And then when I got out of college, they were, and I was searching for a job, they said, yeah, sure, come on. Well, and there was a conference that my mom went to across the hall at her work, and it just so happened to be for cruise ships. And then I ended up getting the job, and, a few months later, I was out on ships. So,
did you stay with the same cruise line, or did you bounce around from cruise line to cruise line?
I stayed with the same cruise line. I worked for Carnival as one of their audio video people, and yeah.
Was it fun or was it hard?
Work hard, play hard, right? So, so I did it for about 5 years. And then after that, I just kind of wanted to be able to place some roots and actually not live out of a suitcase for a little bit.
We always talk about networking. Did you meet anybody? I mean, that seems like a place you could meet like people that you would never have the opportunity to meet in another situation.
Absolutely. And there are people that I still keep in touch with today, like even though it's been like 8 years. So we definitely, it's one of those you can almost spin the globe and be like, I know someone that lives there. Let's go. So, in that aspect, it is a lot of fun. And the people you get to meet are amazing.
Yeah. I kind of feel like if you did something like that when you're young and unattached and without children, I don't think you regret that later on in life. So it's kind of cool that you followed that path and still got to do what you were intending on doing anyway, but got to see the world in the process. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to dive into our topic now. And the topic of the day is always here to help you get motivated in marketing strategy, as we have a actual person who does marketing. The question that we have for all of us today is, why is having a marketing strategy crucial to your business success? Why is it crucial to your business success? And I know this seems like a really obvious question, but Cassie, did you want to kind of chime in on this first?
Sure. Having a marketing strategy, it's kind of without one, you're kind of setting yourself up to fail. Or I actually want to dim that, or to not have the success that you would have without it. Because when somebody does start their website, when somebody does start their business, and they have at least something to get them going, they can have some success. They may have they may get some jobs, they may get some work from that. But actually, when you take that strategy and you apply it to the rest of the business and to everything that you're doing, that's what's going to rocket you forward. That's what's going to make the difference, especially in the long run, of the sustainability of your entire business.
Absolutely. So, Peggy, I'll let you go first, since last week you complained that I let Andrea go first.
Oh, I didn't complain. It was just she took all the good stuff. We hang out together so much that we're almost all of one mind. So we're all like, we hear something, we're like, oh yeah, oh, I was going to say that. But thank you. So yeah, I always say, if you don't have a plan, it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks. And you spend so much effort and so much time and usually so much money that you're just spinning wheels. It's hard to make money and have profit when you're just like scattering your marketing everywhere and spending here and spending here and spending here on things that aren't even bringing you any results. It's counterintuitive.
It's super counterintuitive. Andrea?
I think I love what everybody just said. And I'm going to add that, if you need a plan, because there are days you're going to wake up and you're not going to want to do anything.
Facts.
Right.
And knowing that, today's the day I do X, Y, and Z, get you through this day to your mood or your attitude changes to the next day when you're like, yay, I really love doing this stuff or whatever. So, of course, planning to fail is failing to plan, but also having that roadmap and those guideposts to keep you on the rails when you're like, I want to be at the beach.
Right. Or, I just want to add, like, those days where you're just like, can I just like shut everything down and just be done?
Right. Exactly. Or it's already programmed, so you can go have that day and nobody knows.
Exactly.
So it's because as entrepreneurs, you're going to hit those days. So
I had 3 of those this week. I had 3 of those this week. 3 of them. I was like, I don't want to do nothing.
Well, I know we have viewers from all over the world, but let me just explain to you what it's like in Southern California when it storms. So we have this switch that just shuts off, and we're like, it's raining. We can't function.
It's cold outside. And it's not really cold.
Yesterday, LA County got almost its whole year worth of expected rainfall all in one day. We found things that leaked that we didn't know leaked, that the wind was crazy, it was cold, and there was just, I had a client coming in at 3 and I was like, there is no reason for me to get out of bed before 1 o'clock. And without a plan, I would not have gotten out of bed before 1 o'clock, but I knew there were some things that had to be done. So that's very, very true. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that, Andrew.
I also want to kind of like give you another perspective of that plan, right? So when we are trying to figure out why things aren't working, it's a lot easier to figure that out when you have a plan and you've been following a plan, and you can go back and look at like, okay, I've tried this strategy for a while and this doesn't seem to be giving me the results that I thought it would give me. And then you can tweak that plan. But if you're just kind of like Peggy said, throwing spaghetti on the wall, you can't figure out why the spaghetti isn't sticking, right? Because you didn't actually have a systemized kind of strategy on how you were rolling things out. And so you can't even, in they say hindsight is 2020. You can't even look at hindsight in full color because you really are not sure exactly, well, this post did really well. Well, was it the time of the day, or was it the actual content or the color or whatever it is? You only know that if you had kind of done the same thing for a period of time and saw what results things were getting. And so even when you're trying to tweak that plan, like there are the days when you're like, oh God, I just don't want to do anything today, and you have to stick to the plan, right? But then even when it's time to like, okay, something's not working, it's so much harder to go back and look at your marketing strategy in truth and say, okay, this didn't work, because you at least had a strategy that you were rolling out and you could see where it kind of had holes in it.
Right. Well, and what's so interesting about that as well is, as you were talking, my brain went, click. Because I also do psychic medium work. And one of the things that actually both of my mentors teach through that psychic medium work is, when you are bringing through that loved one, when you are bringing through that person that you're connecting with, you give 3 pieces of information, and then you stop and ask, does this resonate? And then that way you can figure out within those 3 pieces, what piece didn't resonate, like what went wrong. Usually in that aspect, it's usually the relationship. But
right.
It's the same thing in business. Is you've been doing something for 3 months and it's not working, then you've given it enough time to work, but also you can figure out what piece did I put out there that didn't work, and then you can work from there, and then build out, adjust, and then build out the rest of your plan.
Okay, so I'm going to throw a curveball question because I'm just curious as we're talking about like marketing strategies that just didn't work. In your entire lifetime, what was the one strategy that you thought was going to be fire, and then you tried it and it was like, this is the most horrible thing I've ever done in my life. I should never do that again. Just out of curiosity, to ponder that. And for the people who are on the couch, what is the one thing that you tried and you were like, this is going to be amazing? And then when you tried it, it was like, oh, humdinger. That was horrible.
So I would say probably with the, I think this was several years ago, when I had first gotten off of cruise ships and I wasn't entirely sure what my next plan was. I did this piece where I was actually, it was kind of around the holidays, and I was offering to build like these, it's kind of like a like photo collages for like people's holidays and things like that, thinking that would be a great idea. No. Guess what? They're happy with the way their photos look. I'm like, oh, okay. Good news.
That's hilarious. Peggy, did you have something? You've had 30 years of experience.
I was like, I have failed at so many things. Which one would make people laugh is literally what I'm thinking, because I'm like, oh, I've done some pretty weak. So one time, because this was a popular thing about 10 years ago, people were doing like mini, or maybe they still are, but they were doing like mini family photo shoots for like $100, like you just in and out. So I thought, oh, well, I can upsell, like I'll take a ton of pictures, I'll be able to upsell, blah, blah, blah. So originally it looked like, hey, this is successful. Like I had planned a whole day, like boom, boom, boom. Like I think I had like 5 hours of like solid, not a break in between, at the beach in San Diego. Now, let me just preface that beaches in San Diego don't have restrooms. Just keep that in mind. And so I did book those really cheap sessions and did a ton of work without going to the bathroom. Like there was a point where I was like, am I going to have to go walk out into the ocean in my jeans? Like it was, but I did make it to the gas station in the nick of time. But it was but not one person upselled. No, I didn't make, so really, like, I worked really, really hard for pennies is what happened out of that. Like, even though I did technically bring the clients in,
Yeah.
sometimes I think what happens is you attract the people that don't want to spend money.
Yeah.
And then they tell all their friends about you that also don't want to spend money. So yeah, that was.
Oh yeah.
I think one of the hardest things that I've had to learn in business is how to say no when you do come across the client that does not
Value you.
because I have always been a yes person, and learning that boundary and learning how to say, I don't think, to be the one that says, I don't think that this is going to be a right fit. So hard. So hard.
Andre, it seems like you came up with something.
Yeah, I did. And it was probably, I used to do live events, like these big bazaars, because there would be lots of vendors at a vendor event, let's just say. And I got asked to do one, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And I don't think I did enough homework, because when I showed up, I was like, I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the wrong thing. No one's going to talk to me, because I had this interesting skin technology that I was marketing, and I was in a place filled with people selling chat skis and like, it wasn't a health fair. And I was like, where are the other people doing health and wellness stuff? Oh, they're here, and they weren't. And everyone was looking for, this cheap, cute little bead things, or like, isn't this cute? I'm like, that's so ugly. Like just grandma and like weird stuff. And I was just like, ugh, it was probably one of the last times I did a live event to share product. I stopped. I was like, this does not work. Because like Peggy, you said, like I got all this inventory, and then I had like my signage and all of these things that just sound so quaint now when I think about it. We're doing everything online.
I've done some of those before, and yeah, I know what you're saying.
And I would never return to that kind of strategy unless, Cassie, to your point, there are people dying to know what I have. Like, you must come. Like, and I'll be like, show me who else is there. It'll be way more discerning about where I showed up. And that was a big there's not all the places all the time when you do what you do. But I was at the beginning of being somebody who had things to sell. So I was like, oh, what I didn't know what I didn't know. So
I think I've done a few of those vendor things and just been on the wrong side of the table of those vendors. Like, so Andrea and I know each other from creating, we're directors for Team Referral Network. And so we were creating groups, and, they're always like, yeah, just go put yourself out there and market yourself. And so that you can attract people to your group. And I think one time I went to one vendor event, and it was basically like people were just there to party. It was like a meat fest, right? Like they were there to party, hook up, like hang out with people. And like they care less about business networking. And I just remember being like, this is a complete waste of my time. They're not business people. They're just people who want to party. And that's fine. Time and place, appropriateness is really what's most important. But I do remember being like, well, this is a shindig. This is cool. I just wish I wasn't here, like having to man this table with like how to maximize your business through networking pamphlets and that kind of stuff. So I think that was one of the strategies that kind of was not stellar for me in recent history. There were plenty more, but that in recent history, that was one of the ones that I was like, I think these kinds of events, you want to work from the other side of the counter, not necessarily being behind this table and kind of being like tethered to a spot. You want to kind of work the room. So that was the one for me. Thanks for playing along with my little impromptu question, because as y'all were talking, I was like, there's probably some nuggets in these failures. So as always, I have to keep us moving along, and we want to help people really stay inspired. And so today we have Cassie, and Cassie, we kind of want to know a little bit more about your journey and how you came into this entrepreneurial journey, and why Stargazers Unite. Like, what is that about, and what's that mission about? And so I want to give you a little time to share a little bit about your own entrepreneurial journey, so that people can find a little magic in what you do.
Sure. So I kind of started this journey by really, I've been in and out of entrepreneurial businesses for the majority of my adult life, since I come out of college and then out of cruise ships. It was kind of like I had gone into entrepreneurial and then kind of back into working for somebody, back and forth, just trying to figure out what's going to work, what's going to be sustainable. And then I did work for I did actually kind of work for a holistic boutique, and I fell in love with the psychics and the mediums and learning the like tarot, learning psychic mediumship work, kind of fell in love with that community. And the place that I was working at was just did not align with some of the values that I have, and what I wanted to bring to the community. And so, as we parted ways, I started working with and helping other light workers, other psychic mediums in the group, or in the community, that helping them with their message, helping them market themselves, teaching them that, how to use some of their back office things like Canva, and kind of helping them build something where, yes, building your business is an investment, and it's always going to be an investment in yourself, but no, you don't need millions of dollars to back it to be successful. And so that's just kind of how, the message around Stargazers Unite started. And, it's something that I'm really passionate about. There are a lot of people in the community that are so, and I say community, I mean, community on a global scale. And they're just so incredibly gifted at what they do, but they kind of need someone to be that bridge between them and technology. And I kind of bring that aspect in. It's so weird when you all disappear.
And then we all fly back in. You're like,
it feels very weird.
Am I on the air? Is it going? What's happening? Anyway, that's really cool. I was wondering how Stargazers Unite and Cassie flowed together, because I haven't been on the morning or whatever calls you're in the Minkubator. So I was like, oh, yeah, I get it. And it also makes sense with your, I'm very interested in your X audio background, because I used to do that too. So thank you, Cassie, for showing how we all arrive at destinations, except for Peggy. She got a camera at 6 and never stopped, but whatever. You're a unicorn, Peggy. Oh.
We can't hear you. I can't hear y'all.
Okay, technical difficulties. That's how you know it's a live show.
So Monica muted me is what happened. But trick on her, because when she mutes me, she mutes herself, because we're on the same audio. But what I was saying is I only found one thing in life I was good at, so I thought I better stick with it.
Oh, yeah. Rode that pony all the way.
All the way.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Well, what I love is that, so what I like about your story is it kind of shows people that you can merge your passion and the people that you love with the technical skills that you have, and find a way to be kind of surrounded by the people and the things you love, even in your business. I think that kind of lends to that fulfillment element of it all, right? Like if you are working with people who speak your same speak and love the things that you love, but you just have a very particular capacity, it really does make it substantially easier than if they're like in some other industry and you're just like, yeah, I don't want to speak algorithms and geeky things. I want to speak like fairies and love and, and rainbows and, and mediumship. And I get to use my very technical skills to be in that world all the time. I think your story speaks a lot to that, that we all have, like Andrea has a very beautiful ear for audio, right? And so being in that passion, and she's able to kind of use that even now when she helps us out with our stuff here. So she gets to apply those skills for a lot of things like that. And obviously Peggy being around people that she loves and being able to find their passion all the way through. I think it speaks to what we do and how we're really trying to tap into everyone's zone of genius, and applying it to a place that they love to be in the first place. And I've always said that if everyone was doing what they love to do, we wouldn't have traffic. We wouldn't have traffic. Like, we wouldn't have traffic jams. We wouldn't have like people like, angry in their car, like, because people got to spend the majority of their time doing, hanging out with the kind of people in the environment that they love. So love, love, love that. We're going to keep this party moving. As we know, we're trying to stick to a tight schedule, even though we are horrible at that because we love each other too much and we talk too much. But if we move this party along, then you will know that it is time for us to keep networking. And this conversation is really going to be kicked off by our next question, which is, who should you surround yourself with when coming up with your marketing strategy? So here at MinkLife Motivation, it's all about asking for help and being surrounded by people in your tribe. And I will tell you, the 3 people who are on here right now are directly responsible for my marketing strategy. So I'm going to cheat and go first, because these 3 people are the people who help me with my marketing strategy. But to not leave Andrea hanging in more crap happening later, when it's like, oh, well, Peggy got to go first this time. We're going to let Andrea lead up with this conversation.
Oh, that was last time. It was really because it was fish out of water, and I was like, I have one idea for every question. Who should you surround yourself with? Well, like you started saying, it's like, one, you need a couple things, and I'm sure we're all going to get to it. But I think the one thing that, say, our community provides is the sounding board to see if it's a throughput to a destination that makes sense. You get so wrapped up in your own business that you're just either really hyped to deliver it, however, with no mind to marketing. And I would count myself in that camp because I hate the marketing part. Yeah, I'm just like, can I just go teach? I don't want to do all of this. But that's not being the owner of a business that you can sell or that you can profit from or you can partner with. You have to do it. So being with people who are like, that idea doesn't tweak here, talk to this person. You just really need a group of people who, one, get marketing, who are better than you at it, and that you can run ideas through. So that's not technical. It's not like do this, but it's technical in the sense that a review committee as a solopreneur is a really good thing. So I'm going to put that out as the ancillary thing, and I'm going to leave Cassie and the rest of you, Peggy, to say something smart. So smart, like technical, for the people who are like, I need a technical answer. She's the boo-boo girl. So I'm just, that's my thing. I'll third, because the boo-boo would have been better at the end, not the first thing, but whatever.
It's okay. Cassie?
So who you should surround yourself with, it's surround yourself with, I mean, for me, I think that the people you surround yourself with are the people who are going to help you stay accountable. Because it does not matter what strategy you come up with. You can come up with any strategy you want, but if you are not accountable to it and actually and have somebody that's going to like put your feet to the fire and actually say like, okay, what'd you do this week? What'd you actually like? What part did you accomplish? What did you do? It's kind of like, well, It's so easy to get in our own way.
Uh-huh.
And so when you surround yourself with people who are going to help hold you accountable to what you say, because like, I mean, I do work with, I'm in the incubator. I'm working with a couple other coaches as well. So it's kind of like, without those people to say, hey, what'd you do? I'm probably not going to do it. I'll be like, look, I did all of the things for my clients. Now I'm going to go play. I'm going to go relax. I'm going to go hang out with my pets. I'm going to go do anything but that, because the only person that's holding me accountable is me. So when I get around other people that are holding me accountable to my own plan,
Yep.
then I really don't have any choice but to do it.
Yeah. Peggy?
Sometimes I feel like I do more work on my business than I do for my clients. And sometimes that feels frustrating because that's the work that isn't gratifying. That's the work that you don't get paid for, because I mean, you do, because that's how you're getting your other clients in. But sometimes it feels like all I do is the business of my business and not the actual, what I call the fun part of my business, working with clients. That to me, I do that all day, every day. But there's so much, work that has to be done to run a business and let people know that you're there so that you can do the fun part of your work. Because if they don't know you're there, you could be the best whatever you are, and nobody's going to come and pay you to do it. Yeah. So I think, and I can't believe you didn't say this, Andrea. Thank you. You left me a little gift. Maps and mirrors. You can get so involved in your own stuff.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can get so engulfed in your own stuff that you can't see it. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's like, okay, I got this amazing Trello board. What do I do with it? Like, now what? Like, somebody to kind of, and to look at yourself, to look and to show you the way. So maps and mirrors always have, be able to step back and see what's going on. People that you can step back with and take a breath and get out of that, because it can get overwhelming, because you just can get buried in it. So,
yeah. So recently we had a new person who was doing the 14-day free trial of the Minkubator. And she was coming in and she tried one of the courses. And in that course, she's like, yeah, I need money now, right? I need a strategy that will happen right now. And I was like, oh, well, you should have said that when we started, because that's a different thing altogether. And then we proceeded as a collective to help push her out of her own way. So she's like, I want to do something for winter solstice. And we were like, okay, let me bring in Cassie. Cassie will tell you, because Cassie's a part of the community that you're directly marketing to. And so she'll tell you whether or not this is something that's really going to be beneficial. And she's like, oh, no, people would totally go for this. And then me, her, and Cassie proceeded to kind of like wash through these different parts of it, like pricing and the this and the that. And then we were like, okay, now let's put it on to some people who have no idea what we're talking about. And we ran into another breakout room and we're like, hey, Peggy, we got something new. You should hear about it. And Peggy was like, I'm excited to hear about it. And so then we then pitched Peggy, and Peggy's like, oh, that sounds really cool. But your website, I don't know, they could use a little this, that, or the other. And so, in action, we were able to see how being a part of a collective, and how all of you had kind of essentially said that same thing, right? Is being a part of a collective to push you forward in your marketing can truly be beneficial. And as Yo off the couch said, Minkubator with all the heart. Because it's just that you do need that collaborative to kind of help you work through it. I would not have had I wouldn't have had anything had I not had a collaborative. If it wasn't for Andrea and I sitting on Zoom for 8 hours a day, working through my stuff and working through her stuff at the same time. Does this sound good? Oh, well, and we would switch. I'm better at graphics. She's better at words. So I would like clumsily throw a bunch of words on a piece of paper or like on a slide, and then I'd be like, all right, fix the words for me, and she would clumsily throw a bunch of images on a slide, and she'd like fix the PowerPoint for me, and we would really support each other in making it look better. Now, could we have done it separately? Absolutely. Could we
Much
have
slower.
done it?
Much
We
slower.
could have done it. It would have taken 1,001 years to do it, and it would have been more iterations that we would have had to go through, burning through people essentially seeing our brand as a hot mess. As a hot mess. It would have taken us longer. And so, as you guys are all alluding to in different ways, really having that core group of people that you can go to support you through that process. And also, I would tell Andrea at the time, I was like, yeah, I need you to have all your images on your slides before I wake up in the morning. And that was the level of accountability. So that she's like, well, if she's going to help me, I got to get it on there. Right. And the same thing for me. Well, if I only have this many hours, so if you want me to see these words, I need you to put it in there so I can see it by this time. And so having, really surrounding yourself with people through this process is actually quite the best way. So if you are on the couch right now and you're listening, we want to know who you think you should surround yourself with. When you are creating your marketing strategy. I mean, besides the obvious, like, yeah, you need a graphic person, you need a Cassie in your life to help you pull that brand together, and you need a Peggy in your life to help make sure your headshot is hitting the right strategy that you need. And you might even need some mindset work with something that Andrea could help you with. But who else do you need to be a part of that community to support you in creating your marketing strategy? We'd love to hear it from you. And look at just like that, chiming in off the couch with and more opportunities to get in your own way, i.e. paralysis by analysis. Facts, right? That happens.
Get out of your own head.
Get out of your own head.
So can I give an unsolicited commercial here?
Yep.
So the Minkubator, we mentioned it. Everyone knows we do the Minkubator all the time. Talk about a place to surround yourself. This person was here on a 14-day free trial, and we all, within 24 hours, she had a whole new business conference set up and was taking money, was getting tickets, within 24 hours. So surround yourself with people, period. Good people, that was amazing.
Yeah. And the beautiful part was, she was in tears because she was like, I've been trying, I've had all these ideas of things on paper for a long time, and I haven't done any of them yet. And this was exactly what she needed, was someone else to, like Yo said on the couch, be the butt kicker to get that idea out and actionable. But Cassie, were you going to say something too?
I was. So kind of one of the things that you were pointing out was that when you let somebody, and this is also kind of a pitch for the thing that's coming up, when you let somebody work in their zone of genius, the area that they are actually really good at, then not only does the job get done quicker, but it's like it gives that boost. Great example. I was helping with the website for that, and so I'm sitting there trying, are you wanting me to just take over, or are you wanting me to try to operate with what you got? And so there was a little bit of, once you kind of said, okay, Cassie, just take it away and do your magic, it was like, oh, okay then.
Yes.
Wow. Let's see what we can really do with this.
Yeah.
But you're letting people take care of the parts that they are actually strongest in. Like when it comes to content, that would not be my area. So having somebody to pass that off to and say, make the words sound right. Okay, now I can make give me the words, I can make it look pretty.
Mm-hmm. I think Cassidy just literally hit the nail on the head. I think that's it, is surround yourself with people and then let go.
Yes.
Yeah, actually
let them do their job, because that's the learn I lesson. That's the lesson I learned is, oh, all right. You want to do this? Okay. Yeah. Let me do that, because I love doing that.
Oh, look at that.
Absolutely. That's the learned I
The learn
lesson.
that I listened.
All
Oh,
right.
did you see Yo's comment though? That's really cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it, but we will add it in
That's
right now. So we're going to move on to gain knowledge while she put the straight shooter, the supporter, the nurturer, and the tech savvy. Yes. Perfect. See, this is why we love you on the couch, chiming in, giving us all these nuggets. So as we get ready to gain some knowledge, this is the lightning round where we give one tip on how to maximize your or build boost your. I'm not sure exactly what the question is. I'm trying to get back to it. Life's share one tip to build a stellar marketing strategy. There it is. I found it. So we will start with the person who's least marketing, Andrea. We'll give you the opportunity to go first. Yeah, I got you. See, I got you.
Well, I think the one tip, and I think the two marketers would really appreciate this one, and it's like, be unapologetically you. You know, that's the starting point. Like who you are, and that authenticity will attract the people you're probably destined to help, not
Yeah,
just hoping to help, but destined to help.
love that. All right. Let's go, Peggy.
That's not even the whole path I was going to take, but that is so true.
Yeah.
Just that should be your marketing strategy is because uh, if you're honest and authentic with who you are, you're going to attract you. And I like that you said that you're destined to help, not just that you want to help. Um, I would say I think I gave my tip before it was time for tips. I think let go, like actually, let the people that you have around you to help you, let them actually do their job. Like, don't be, oh, it has to be, don't micromanage everything. Just let go and just let it happen and
Yeah.
watch it fall into place.
Love that. Love that. Cassie?
Be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to show up anyway.
I bet more people need to hear that right now as we are like marching towards these holidays and it's like getting harder to do that. I love that. Absolutely. And I would say my one tip is actually asking yourself these three questions. What does my client want? What do they need? And what do they get from me in my business? What do they want? What do they need? And what do they get from me in my business, from my product line? And if you can strongly communicate that, you will create a very stellar marketing strategy. So that's my tip. Super simple. All right. Guess what time it is? It's time for announcements, announcements, announcements. Yes. So we will have our guest go first. Please share with us how people connect with you. How can they stay in your world? What you got going on? Where you want them to see you? All of those things. What's going on in your world?
So first off, everyone can find me at stargazersunite.com. That is, all my contact information, everything is there. You can also find me on all social media. I do have 2 podcasts that are coming up. That they are coming up. Actually, one is tomorrow. It's Market Your Magic, where we actually have Peggy on as our guest. So that's always going to be a fun time. And then we also have a Metaphysical Happy Hour, which our next guest is going to be psychic evidential medium Megan Moria. That's going to be on December 22nd. So
Perfect. And
yeah.
Andrea.
Well, I am gearing up for a lot of different things. It sounds exciting, you guys, what you guys are going to be doing. But the real big ask for my Merry Christmas, if you want to celebrate with me, is I am working to build my YouTube channel. It's talking about, sharing yourself. So I have this 53 Days of Wise Woman Wisdom Journey that is wrapping up as I come into January 1st will be the final day. But if you want to catch the entire series, it's on YouTube. And then you get there, if you could subscribe, that will help me push it up so that you can actually see my name as part of the youtube.com/ I need to claim my name. And so I need subscribers. So please go and subscribe and enjoy the 53 Days of Wise Woman Wisdom. So thanks.
Peggy.
So, giving people subscriptions is free. That's something you can do to help. So everybody go subscribe to her YouTube. If you have more than one YouTube channel, subscribe to her channel on both, because once she gets over that hump, then she can start playing with all the fun stuff on YouTube. And tomorrow I'm going to be on Cassie's podcast, like she just said. Super excited about that. I'm at Headshots by Peggy everywhere. Not only do I take headshots, but I also do headshot strategies. So if you don't live in the Los Angeles area locally, we can jump on Zoom. You can go through a strategy and understand how your headshots are and should be one of the biggest parts of your marketing strategy, as they are your first impression most of the time. And you can find all the information on either my link app or on my website.
Awesome sauce. And of course, we have lots of announcements for MinkLife Motivation. But before that, I wanted to give a shout out to Yo, who was holding it down on the couch today. There were so many things. So I'm going to catch you up. She was like, yes, 100% bomb to the conversation we were just having. Also, just lots of emojis. So if you have an opportunity to be a part of the show and chime in even after we're done, we want you to keep doing that. She said, be yourself, LOL, as that's her company. And the last but not least, she said, announcements. So much fun. We enjoy it when you interact. So please continue to do so. But to let you know what's happening in our world, obviously at MinkLife Motivations, we have our community, our courses, and our conferences. And those are all about to converge in some big ways. I bet you're thinking, so what's next? What's happening in our world? You'd be surprised. You've heard so much about the Minkubator today, as we have chatted about that in a large way, where you can clear your to-do list and you can have time to be free to do what you want. You can have the support of others like ourselves here on the couch. And also, you can leave no task undone or left behind, because you will make sure everything gets done, because we will be there to kick your butt, like Yo said. But the entire community is coming together for 24 days, 24 roundtable discussions, 24 courses, and 72 lectures. That's right, 72 lectures. You can get your business done and activate your zone of genius. If you are a speaker and you want to be a part of this mega fest, community that really supports how through collaborations, we need your voice right now. So feel free to reach out to us here at MinkLife Motivation. This is the end of our show. I know, so sad. We have so much fun together. But I want to say thank you to all of my guests today. My guest, Cassie, and also Peggy and Andrea for being here, and my ride or dies on the couch with us on a weekly basis. We have one more show to do this year. So stay tuned, as we'll be here again in the same place. But remember that you have the power to activate the vision within. Sharing is freaking caring. It does not cost anything for you to do that. So please share, please like, please comment, because that helps us in such a big way. And if you know someone who needs this information, who may have been struggling with marketing and they just wanted to hear this conversation, please share it with them. With that, we will see you next week. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Bye.